welcome to Galactic Reviews. We're gonna be talking about Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I'm assuming your thought is that it's just weird. Like, it's not like a garbage movie. I know you probably wouldn't incline to like it because it's not a musical, but it's just weird.
Yeah, that is one of the big problems I have with it. Yeah, I would say that's definitely one of the big problems I have with it is that it's weird. It doesn't seem to have a plot at all. You never really understood the characters, and when you thought you understood them, it changes it up on you.
And that's the whole point of the movie.
And that can be an interesting point. However, in that point, it also changes the whole plot to being somewhat, in my opinion, somewhat lazy.
I mean, it
As
wasn't
it
made to
goes,
be a good movie. It was just made
I
to be a
know,
fun movie. Yeah.
I get that, but fun movies can be good movies. Is my is my take on
Yeah,
that. So,
I'm sure. I think it's a good movie. This is one
uh,
of my favorites. But
well,
I have different reasons for it being favorite than it being a good movie.
yeah, well, I don't like it. There's definitely more into it than that I can go into, but I think I might save that for the review.
Yeah, it's I wish I could have had it given it to you people guys in the environment that it is meant to be enjoyed in. I was able to tell Zach a little bit about it, but it's not really a movie that you're gonna get anything good out of just sitting down and watching it at home. Um,
Okay.
it has been something that has been a event for the past several decades. It is an interactive viewing. With callbacks and things that you shout back at the screen and props and jokes that are inserted in throughout the movie by the audience members. Um, and it's definitely much more of an event than it is the movie that makes it special. And I've done
Hmm.
it the past 4 years here in college. And I did it, I think, 1 or 2 years even before that. And it's just a lot of fun. If it's your first time, they take lipstick. Well, they take do this regardless. But if first time they put a V on your forehead for virgin because you've never seen it. If you've seen the movie, um, but haven't seen the experience, they put an S for slut. And if you've seen the movie and seen the experience, they put SS for super slut. Hold on,
That sounds bad.
I got my badge for it from this past one. Um, they give you props, so like
You know how bad that kind of sounds.
it's great. No, it's yeah, I know it's great. Um,
SS, you get a red armband.
I
No
know.
Jews are allowed to end it.
A lot of times they have a shadow cast, which is a group of people who are acting as the characters in the movie, but in front of the movie screen.
Hmm.
And these are most of the people that shout out like a lot of the callbacks for the movie and the jokes. In the beginning of at least mine, they do a warm up event, which has like a whole bunch of games. So for this year, they did the first game, and they, by the way, what they do is they grab virgins from the audience. Um, People who don't know what to expect. And the first game was give me your best evil laugh that turns into a moan.
That just
Um,
sounds weird.
yes, yes. The second one is they had like a dildo that strapped onto the head, and they had to like throw loops on it, throw rings on it. And the last one was just a makeout competition, and it's a riot. It is so much fun. As an audience member, throughout the movie, like when they're walking through the rain to the castle, like you put a newspaper over your head. During like the birthday dinner, you put the birthday hat on your head. Throw confetti in the air during the beginning wedding. um there's like noisemakers during the party. A lot of the call outs, yeah, you're shouting at the screen the entire movie. Whenever they say Brad, you shout asshole. Whenever they say Janet, you shout slut. Whenever the narrator pops on screen, you go, "Where's his neck?" Because you can't see it. There's a lot of great call outs that are really funny, and I don't remember them because they're like line specific. So as a standalone movie, but as an event, it is a spectacle, and I would love to take you guys some time.
I mean, I'd probably pass on it, but if there was a
That's
way for
fair.
me to, if there was a way for me to be behind doing the reel of everything and
Hmm.
being able to see the event, then I might do that. But I don't know.
I feel like you'd appreciate the call outs at the very least.
I think I'd appreciate the call outs, but I don't know. It's just the whole best way to say this, I guess, would be like the whole sexual perversions and everything. It's just like, that's not my style.
That's fair. It's not for everyone. I understand that. That is definitely a good criticism.
And
It is
it's
not for everyone.
and it is rated R, so it is
Yes.
definitely rated R for a reason. So and yeah, it's definitely one of the things where I was like, okay, at least it's rated R. It's hard rated R. I don't there should be like a rating that's like above like there should
There is.
I think they should split like rated R for violence and rated R for like like this kind of sex stuff. If that makes
I
sense.
don't think so. I think rated R is just adult content. I mean,
Yeah,
I
to
mean
some extent. Like
they
I wish like they would have like what if I was to like this is just me just
mhm,
saying stuff, but if I was
yeah.
like to do like a rating system, I would
Mhm.
make that a possibility. Like
Have
it
you heard
probably
of
wouldn't happen on all.
NC-17?
I've I've seen the like there was at Epic Theaters there's like this giant sign with all the ratings on it and that one's at the bottom. I've never seen it. I don't know exactly what that means, but I
I
know it's
they
like the
don't
very
they don't put that on they don't I don't think they can put those movies in theaters. I could be wrong, but they tend to not put those movies in theaters. They don't really tend to make those movies. Um those movies like you can't really have gore that's so much and gore and violence it's so much that it's over R. And C-17 is like this is a movie but it has straight up porn is what that is.
hmm,
Like you see everything.
okay. Well, I didn't know that, but the more you know.
Yep. So there's this movie called Boogie Nights, which is it is Mark Wahlberg's breakout movie. He was really young. It is a very well directed and well written movie. It's like 2.5 hours long. I didn't know anything going into it, and I was shocked. But essentially, he's this like 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid who's just like working at a bar, and then he gets picked up by a porn producer for his like charisma and his well endowment, and it's kind of similar to the Wolf of Wall Street with the plot line of being this kid who's at nothing, and then because of like his natural talent and star quality, he rockets to stardom, and then deals with that and like crashes because of his ego, and then kind of like comes back up a little bit after he gets humbled. It's like that, but as a porn star. And it is rated R because you don't see any of the sensitive bits, except for the last 3 seconds of the movie, or you see this man's massive 10-inch schlong, and it is a prosthetic, but they just drop it on you at the very end of the movie after a 2.5 hour film. I did not know this was gonna happen going into it, and I'm sitting there in the movie theater just that was good. It was great. It was something else. I think it's like PG-13 movies where like you can show it, but like only once and for, and they might have even changed the rating guidelines because this was like a 70s or 80s movie.
And I don't quite like the whole thing where it's like the way they explain everything is aliens. That part was like,
He was a transvestite from Shandsexual, and that was he's a little alien, literal alien from planet of transvestite in the galaxy of transsexual.
yeah, that part.
It's literally just weird for the sake of being weird.
Yeah, and I figured that much, but I was just like, this is a little bit beyond the realm of like
Me
understanding weird and just
yes.
like, let's see how crazy we can make this crap. Yeah,
Yes, exactly. I hope the person who wrote it is okay. Um
they're probably not. No.
Eddie, the guy who played Eddie, he was like a famous rock star from the 80s.
Hmm.
His name is Meatloaf.
Okay, yeah, that explains that weird man. But yeah, I didn't mind him. I think that's mainly because I didn't get to see much of him. So, and I like the criminologist. That's about the only two characters I really cared to
Yeah,
actually like. I'm assuming this might have been a play of some sorts,
it is now.
or
Which
like it
fun?
was back. I assumed it was before it became a movie,
I
and
don't
then
believe
like
so.
that's just what it looked like to me,
Yes, I understand that. Yeah.
especially since like they had Tim Curry and the two other people
Mhm.
being the pastor and then the two helpers at the church scene.
Oh, no, 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 no. You're right. I didn't know this. The 1975 film is based off of a 1973 stage production.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what it seemed to have those same remnants
Hmm.
as far as like production value goes and stuff. And then there's just
Hmm.
all kinds of like weird, yeah, just the whole sexual perversions, like the transsexual alien creating his own,
Man.
essentially creating a man that acts like a kid. So you got in kind of like a pedophilia mix in there, along with some gay
Wow.
crap. And like this could be me reading a little bit too much into it, but it's just like this is just so it's weird, but it's a very messed up weird in some areas if you look at it.
Okay.
And that's the part where I was just like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay. I
So
don't see it as messed up. I just see it as weird.
yeah, well that like I said, that's just me. So
I understand. I
I'm
understand.
pretty sure many other people would think the same way.
I understand.
I'm pretty sure there would be people that would think in my camp. There'd probably be many people that would think in your camp. I didn't mind. Like what I will say is, I knew there was like a script, and I didn't mind some of the. I didn't mind the criminologist. He was probably about. He was probably the favorite part to me in the thing. I thought he was funny.
Hmm.
I thought he was good when he popped up. Definitely, also definitely felt like somewhat cheap. Like when they went to go kill Eddie or whatever, you know, like they immediately turned it away from Tim Curry and went straight to the his love interest or whatever.
Yeah.
And like they didn't show any of like the him hitting him, killing him, or anything. They just went immediately straight to that. And it's like I'm pretty sure they just didn't have the budget for it.
I honestly don't know, but I love Tim Curry, and
Tim Curry's,
he's quite good in the role, or at least he throws himself into the role.
yeah, he definitely. I'd say I don't know if he's good in the role, but I definitely say he threw himself in the role, at least into Rocky's arms. You know,
I was asked to play Rocky um in a stage show of it one year, and I it was because the guy who played Rocky was a friend of mine, and he couldn't make it for one show. But at the time, my singing was not at where it could be, where I could do that song. So I said no thanks.
I was about to make a joke, but I won't.
I was gonna do it, and I want to do it now. I think it'd be a
It's,
hoot. It's your choice next, right?
no, it's Zach's. I think he's going to choose Black Adam. I have no idea, but if I had to
You're right,
assume,
because it was Snatch and then Batman and then Rocky Horror.
yeah,
That's right. All right. Black Adam. That's right, Black Adam. But I kind of want to see it. I like The Rock, but I'm not hopeful for the movie as a whole.
I've seen it. It's definitely not like you're going to go out of it awe inspired, but you're going to go like that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's a mediocre superhero movie,
Mhm.
and quite honestly, mediocre is better than crap that we've been getting recently. So as far as live action goes,
Okay.
so
I'm excited for Black Panther. There's a lot of hype around it.
I don't. Uh, I'm skeptical.
Hmm.
I'm very skeptical because depending on how they do some of the stuff, like the Queen, like T'Challa's mother is Queen,
Hmm.
which I don't know why she is because they're supposed to be ruling by the one who has the most strength. If that make if from what they said in the first movie.
I
So I
think,
would think I forget his. I know the comic book character's name is Manape, and I know they didn't use it because of where they could have gone very easily. But and the reason why he's called that in the comic books is because he dresses like an ape.
yeah.
That's the
Um,
only reason why they call him that. So I think he calls himself that.
yeah, I think how I could speculate with. I mean, I've only seen what's in the trailer,
Yeah, and I've seen
and
some
I
of the other
mean,
like
even like technically, she's always been the queen.
like
Um,
yeah, but what I'm saying is like you could have like Umbaku take over because he's like the next most
yeah,
powerful guy to take over,
yeah,
and her be like an advisor. Like that one I could see, but it seems like they're
yeah.
making her queen outright, and that doesn't make any sense. I could be wrong, and it's just the Black Panther that ends up doing that, but I assume
I
it
mean,
was
it could
also
literally just be the interim. They haven't had that challenge for strength or whatever their ceremony is yet. I have no context.
yeah, yeah, and I get that, but it's just a question I have, and from what I've seen on previous MCU stuff, it's like it doesn't. I don't think that's going to bode well.
That's fair.
I don't like the way Namor looks. Just doesn't look like Namor from what I've seen before. Uh, and some of the acting I've seen on the trailers and some of the
Mhm.
CGI I've seen on like some of the like snippets are pretty bad. Like there's this one where there's like an explosion and the water goes out, but the people are still there, and then the people go out. And it's like, did no one look at this? And it's like in a trailer for it.
Oh,
So it's like, did they mess that up intentionally for people to point and laugh at it, or like how's so I'm very skeptical about this movie. That's the best way I can say that. I'm
gotcha,
like like I'd be I'm hoping I'm wrong and that's really good, but I'm very skeptical about the movie. So
gotcha. Was Black Adam at least funny?
oh yeah, it was funny. There's definitely some fun bits. Definitely some funny bits. Definitely some moments where I'm like, oh, that was funny. I don't know if I like outright laughed, but there's definitely moments I was like, oh, that's hilarious. That's good. That's a good joke. There's definitely problems I have with it. You know, if Zach chooses it or if he doesn't, I'll probably choose it. I'll definitely be choosing it next. There's definitely problems I have with it, but
That's fair.
definitely still a good mediocre movie.
Okay, that's a good. That's
It's
a
a
good
good mediocre
preemptive.
superhero. Doesn't get there's only a few moments in where it gets somewhat political, but it's not like in your face political like Wonder Woman was,
Okay.
at least not to a full outright extent.
Wonder
So
Woman 2 was
yeah,
that was a headache.
I don't know what else you want to talk about.
Did you have topics?
Oh yeah, yeah. When I went over this with Andrew, I was like, I mean earlier with Zach and stuff,
Mm,
previous ones, I was like, you need to start writing down stuff to like go over.
mhm.
So one of the things I have,
I'm gonna here. Oh, hold on. Here's something I got from work the other day.
oh nice, I
It's
think I
only
don't know.
12. There's only 12 in there, so they're like little tiny like bottles. I guess like single serving or double serving bottles.
Yeah,
Um, so I have to start it either. I'll probably start it on December 1st and do the first 12 days of December, and then
and then go
because
see
I
your folks
can't
and
take
make it,
that. Yeah, because I can't take
and
that
then go
with me.
see, and then go see your folks and make your dad pay for the rest. I see. Uh-huh.
Here we go.
I know how that goes. Not really. My dad doesn't drink, and I don't drink. I don't know how that goes actually at all. But yeah, had some topics. Mario trailer. I know that's kind of out there and kind of late, but what'd you think about it?
Jack Black, phenomenal. I loved the Bowser performance. We only got like what, one line, two lines from Chris Pratt, and I'm not gonna throw him under the bus yet because I want to see more of like an extended performance before I fully pass judgment on what I think.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, like, if they're gonna get everything right except his voice, I think that's kind of bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah. After watching it, I've watched it. I watched it, and I saw that criticism a lot. Like Chris Pratt doesn't sound like Mario, but he sounded like he did a voice, and because like in the Nintendo Direct or Nintendo Live thing or whatever for the movie, they had actually Jack Black and Chris Pratt show up and like to like drum
Yeah.
up the movie and stuff. And they both had like said they did voices, and Jack Black's is obvious, because it's a lot deeper. Um,
Yeah.
but Chris Pratt's, he after listening to it, he definitely does a voice, but it's
No,
more like
yeah.
a New Yorker kind of Italian accent, like Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. That's kind of what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like a full-on Italian, so it sounds more like a guy trying to audition for like one of the roles of the Sons of the Godfather instead of like actually trying to be Mario. Listen, well, remember like playing it back in my head. I like there's definitely a part where Bowser goes, "I do not," and he doesn't sound as raspy, and it still sounds like Jack Black. It doesn't sound like, and that's when it picked up on it. Like Toad doesn't sound like Toad. He sounds like, I believe it's
I think so.
Michael Keegan Key, I think
I
is his
think so.
name.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And it sounds like him just doing a higher pitched voice and doesn't sound exactly like Toad. So what I'm thinking is, at least for the American speaking uh, language, as far as that goes, I'm thinking they wanted the star power and they told him to sound like themselves, kind of doing a voice without making it too much of a change. So that way they cannot be distinguished, if that makes sense. Because there's definitely like other language translations that have sounded more like Mario and more like Bowser and more like Toad, if that makes sense.
I
Especially
wonder
more
if
like
there
Mario.
was I wonder if there was a reason that they didn't get the voice of Mario. Maybe they didn't want it to sound that cartoony. I don't know.
Well, also that and maybe they just wanted star power as well.
That's a good point.
So, and that's why I'm thinking that they told him to, you could do a voice, just don't do too much of a voice. And because I mean, in, you definitely hear it more so in Mario,
Hmm.
but you also hear it to some extent in Bowser and Toad in that same trailer. And this could just be me over speculating it. So I very well could be wrong.
Yeah, and that was like what, a teaser, if
Yeah,
anything.
it's up there. It's up for I def it's definitely just a conspiracy theory, I guess, for this movie. Definitely like a
Yeah,
thought to put out there. But it's
yeah.
not like in set in stone. And the criticisms are valid. I'm not gonna outright deny that Chris Pratt doesn't sound like Mario. He doesn't. Not he just doesn't sound like Mario. But not honestly, you gotta go the same way with Bowser and Toad, and we haven't heard anybody else yet either. So I don't that if I had to say why that is the case, I would say that that might be the case because they wanted that stardom in the American speaking version. And I very well could be wrong, and it's just Chris Pratt was the only one that really couldn't pull off an Italian, which it doesn't make any sense because that's one of the easiest things to do.
I guess, yeah. I mean, you got to be
It's a me,
careful
a
careful
Mario.
of, yeah, yeah.
It's a me, a Mario. What do you got to be careful of?
I mean, you got to be careful of attracting the accusations of cultural appropriation,
Oh
but
no, it's Italian, so they and they're white, so they technically don't count, But
oh,
I'm mainly kidding, but
I know.
I don't understand like how is I guess this is a talk for another time, but how exactly is doing the accent a cultural appropriation?
That's a complex conversation.
Like I'm pretty sure this isn't the view that you have,
No,
but
it's like, no, I for me, I think I mean, it kind of it depends on how you do it. It depends on the context. Um, like the main context when I've of what I've heard of accent cultural appropriation is part of is AAVE, African American vernacular. Like when white people quote unquote talk black,
What
um,
about okay?
people get uppity about that as being cultural appropriation, which yeah, it's stealing. It's I don't know enough to talk on it. I
Yeah.
really
Okay.
don't. I've
Okay.
only
Because
seen
then
like random TikToks about it.
yeah. Because then my next question is like, what about if a black guy does a white guy voice, the tokenized white guy voice, and in honestly all cases, it's kind of funny, but especially when black comedians do it and they do it in a joke, it's hilarious. But most of the time, it is hilarious. But like, does it go both ways? If not, why not? Like, you know what I mean? You get what I'm kind of like.
No, yeah, it doesn't go both ways.
I had a feeling it wouldn't, but just like if not, then why not? Does it not go both ways? But you already said you
That
don't know a whole bunch on it, so I'm not going to push any more on that on you.
I
But
believe that goes back to like the roots of like the racial history and history of oppression. I'm very far from a history major. I just trying to code, man.
yeah, no, I get that.
Anyways, I'll do a book haul. Um, this is the book that I was reading, Infinite Jest. I'm only got 200 pages into it before I put it down. I'm not done reading it, but I had to stop. It is a
Yeah,
futuristic um, fictional commentary, societal commentary piece written in the 70s. So it's modern time, and a lot of it is scary accurate about like the negative effects of like social media and mass media on like society as a whole, um, and mental health and stuff. So it's very interesting, especially that was written in the 70s. I put it down because a friend of mine published their first book. She's like 18 and published her first book, and it is a historical fantasy book set in like the
nice.
1800s, but it's in a completely fictional fantasy world. Um, so I'm reading that. I got, I got. I was in Jacksonville for a one day. Um, I got Fire and Blood, which is the prequel that the new House of Dragons series is based off of. The 750 Alexa, page Fire and Blood is Alexa, Echo, stop.
You never even said it.
I don't say Alexa, it's Echo.
I
Stop.
know, but you didn't say it.
I said something similar to it apparently. Um, Fire and Blood, which is the prequel to House of Dragon, Game of Thrones, and I've read all the Game of Thrones. Got Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, which is a phenomenal philosophy book, Stoicism. I've read it before, I just don't have a copy. I got a book on existentialism, which is another school of philosophy that I really wanted to read. I got books, but essentially what happened was I was supposed to have a doctor's appointment, and because my
Yeah.
dad retired from the Navy, they wouldn't let me into the military base.
Well, if you're doing a book haul, I'll do a book haul too.
So what happened was I picked up Zach. We went to Chamberlain, and then I got two tattoos.
You picked up Zach?
Yeah, I texted him. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Nothing." And then I went, "I'm outside your house."
Sounds about right. This is what I've been reading. Uh, got Batman Under the Red Hood, the
All
comic
right,
book that is the movie is based off of. You know how I said it's kind of based off of a what's it called?
Jason. What do you mean? What?
Like you know how I kind of said it was based off of Death in the Family or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's only kind of true. This is really what it's based off of.
yeah.
They only brought in Death in the Family to kind of for it to make sense. Been reading
Gotcha.
this one, Robin, Chuck Dixon. So that's been fun. Read this one, Batman: The Long Halloween. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's what I read to do the review thing. That probably nobody
gotcha.
watched. That probably nobody watched, but I did it anyway. Um. Uh. Oh yeah, forgot about this one. Judas Contract, Teen Titans.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty good. This one I think you might want to read at some point. I don't know.
Is Raven in it?
Raven's in it.
Okay,
Donna
good.
Troy is in it.
I don't
Starfire's in
care.
it.
I don't care.
You just like Raven?
Yes.
You goth of a hippie. All right. And then I've been reading Nightwing recently, also done by Chuck Dixon. It's pretty good. This is volume 4. I couldn't find volume 1. So at least the books I've been able to read. I need to go back and start reading again the Star Wars Legends stuff.
All right. I got 4 hours of sleep studying for a software engineering exam.
All right.
So
Sounds like fun. Did you pass it?
I hope so. I think so. I think so. They're pretty easy.
I hope so. They're pretty
Mhm.
easy, but you stayed up. You stayed up till 3 in the morning to
So
study for it.
listen, this the reason. So it was 2 in the morning, and then I woke up at 6
Ah,
to
okay.
continue studying.
That makes all the difference.
Um, I haven't been to this class since the last exam. So that's why. But the thing is, all the teacher does is read off of the slides, and
Okay.
they're very comprehensive, and the material's just super easy, and it's all multiple choice. But I just had to read through all the slides.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That like it's just like you're essentially just wasting time in the class. So why go to the class if you don't need to? I get that. And they don't dock you anything for not going to the class.
Nope.
'Cause I know like teachers don't like it when students don't go to the class, but they
It's
if it's one of
it.
those times where like they can't do anything against you doing it, and that's good for you, man.
This week is awful. I had an assignment due Wednesday night, which I finished today. I have an essay due Thursday at midnight, which I only have like 400 words for it, need 1,500. I have a coding assignment due Thursday night, which I haven't started because my partner and I have been slacking because we got behind on other assignments because of other assignments or other classes.
Mm.
There's an essay in another one of my classes that's due Friday night, and now a take-home quiz that is going. If I fail the quiz, I fail the class because it fulfills a specific requirement that I need to meet.
Mm.
Um, and that's due Saturday now. It was originally due Thursday. It's due Saturday now. I
That's a
leave
burden.
at I leave at the ass crack of dawn on Friday morning for my race.
Oy. Well, can't you do it like beforehand?
I can try.
That's
I
what
can
you're
do
gonna
my
try to
best
do.
because I have only Wednesday and Thursday now to do stuff, to do my homework, all this work.
Mm.
And I have a big giant project in my operating system class that's due Monday, but I'm going to be out of town Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
I'm gonna go ahead and end it because now we're just getting into personal stuff now.
No, hold on. Don't end it because this is some good content. Ready? The article, the list of all of the obstacles came out.
Hmm.
It's a 5 mile loop and there's 20 obstacles, and some of them have penalties because they're required. The first one, just shoot me. Shoot is spelled SHUTE. Climb up a 10-foot entrance wall and scale a 39-foot cargo net and to a free fall style slide used to descend the back. That's obstacle one.
Sounds like fun.
The second one is a warped wall. The third one, chill pickle. Climb up an 8-foot ladder, slide down an 8-foot slide into 5-foot deep ice pit. Payson. It's going to be high in the 50s. I'm going to be running overnight, and it's going to get into the 30s.
Sounds like fun.
Ice pit. I have a
Sounds like a
wetsuit.
sounds like a whole bunch of fun.
There's one called Dingleberries, which is you're over a pit of mud and you're doing like a cargo net, basically monkey bars.
Nice.
I'm so excited, but this is also going to be quite the experience.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
I will do my best to get photos and videos when I can.
Also,
Alrighty
I
then.
thought of a, so
Yep.
I don't know if this sounds good, but so if we ever went to a convention, I thought of
Hmm.
Zach dressing up as Superman,
Hmm.
you dressing up as Lex Luthor,
Hmm.
and then I dress up as Bizarro.
I as Lex Luthor, but that means I gotta shave. I don't want to shave.
You don't have to shave. What you have to do is you have to just color it red.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Because he does have the beard in the comics.
He
It,
does.
he
After the
does
death
have,
of Superman.
yeah, he does have longer hair though. But we could just say you're mid transition.
That's right.
Your hair is in mid transition,
That works.
or we could give you a wig. Either one.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was me. Like, if we ever go to a convention, that's what we dress up as.
All right. Alrighty then. That would be fun to go to a convention.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll go ahead and do an intro and then do an outro because we didn't do an
Perfect.
intro.
We did not.
Hello, and welcome to Galactic Reviews. We're gonna be talking about Rocky Horror Picture Show. Thanks for tuning in to Galactic Reviews. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Unrestrained on Galactic Reviews. Join us next time when we'll probably be talking about something else crazy going on in our lives.